Jordy, a 28-28 draw against Coventry this afternoon. With that kind of late comeback from Coventry, does it feel like a bit of a negative at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll in a position to win that game. We'll control on the start of that second half pretty well, and then I guess just some of our own mistakes. Obviously, they upped it a little bit, but I think we probably did let that one slip away. We could have come away with 5 points, and we'll take 3, but probably.
Was that the most frustrating thing, that in the kind of middle quarter, just after half time, we built that lead back up again to 14 odd points, but perhaps just went back into our shells a little bit in that final quarter?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, whether we maybe tried to protect the lead a bit much rather than keeping on top of them, but I thought, well, like you said, the first 20 of the second half we'll had a fair bit of momentum, and probably should try to keep that rolling a bit more.
It's a tricky one. Similarly to Bedford last week, the conditions made it very difficult to play, didn't they? It was tough out there.
Yeah, I mean, we did have the win that second half, and I thought maybe that led to us, I don't know, but it wasn't too bad. We should have, I mean, they're a good side, but we probably should have sewn that one up, I think.
Yeah, it's another, just going back to the start, it's another game where we've got to try within the first 5 minutes or so. I know it probably doesn't feel like too much of a consolation at the moment, but it's certainly a great trait to be having, isn't it? Yeah,
I think we're starting well.
Yeah.
Which is something that's good for us. Both this week and last week, and I think even the week before against Jersey, came from our maul. So it's good to see that we're getting some pay up front. We've been working hard on that, and it's good to know that you can kick it to the corner and have some confidence in your maul that you can come away with a try and start the game off on the right foot.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it there. I guess we also mentioned the fast starts. Is it just a case of kind of keeping the foot down, keeping the hammer down, and just trying to kind of really pull away from teams? Yeah,
I mean, I think that's it really. We just got to keep playing and keeping on top of teams and keep testing their defence rather than maybe go a bit negative. We'll probably have to look at why we're doing that if we are. But also, teams are circling us as a team to beat. So they're bringing their A game every time they play us, and we got to step up to the mark as well, because as you can tell, any team on that day can beat any team.
That biggest positive probably from 40 to 60 odd minutes. We played in there 22 the whole time. We were just playing very smart rugby, weren't we?
I think that was it. We were playing in the right half, and then that second 40 we just couldn't seem to get out of our half for whatever reason. So I guess in these sort of games when you got the territory, or if you're stuck in your own 22, it's hard to play rugby and try play attacking from in there. It's especially in a tight game.
Still a bonus point for tries, obviously, without the attack kind of really firing yet this season. I know it's early days in the season, so I guess we can see that as a kind of positive to just keep building, and eventually once it clicks, it'll really kind of click into gear, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're showing glimpses of good stuff as well. Some of our tries have been quite good. Like I said, the set piece and the line out and the maul is going well. I think it's just being that relentless attitude to just keep putting teams to the sword and really put the nail in the coffin when we got the momentum and we can sort of sniff that moment.
Man of the match for you. You're having a lot of rugby alongside Murph and Reid in the back row at the moment. It looks like it's going pretty well. Yeah, I think I obviously played a lot with them last year as well, and Drew as well. So I mean, we're a pretty deep back row. I think we got anyone even in the non-23 can step in and they're all chomping at the bit to have a crack, so you got to be on your game, otherwise you won't find yourself in the squad. But I think that's a good thing as well. I think across the whole park we've got some good depth, so everyone's pushing for spots. 2 away trips in a row now, Yorkshire away and then Doncaster the following week. You'll know from last year those trips are very difficult, but to come away with those with 2 positive results would really get us back on track, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it'd be nice to try to take a bit of momentum out of those 2 games, but I mean, we've been training well the last couple of weeks. We've just got to sort of put it on the paddock, and like I said, I don't think we played a terrible game today, but it's just disappointing we couldn't finish it off when we had the momentum.
Glen, a draw in the end against Coventry. A little bit of frustration perhaps at the end of that game?
Yeah, I think frustration through a lot of it, to be honest. I think first 20 minutes of that second half, we ended up going out and doing everything that we spoke about at half time, which was great to see the sort of players tactically getting the game right second half for the first 20 minutes, and then we were playing everything down in this half, which was great, with the win behind us, and then the last 20 minutes we were playing it all in our half. ill discipline, which cost us in the first half in particular as well. Give up easy field position, and compounding errors, and a couple of individual mistakes as well, and suddenly you find yourself at 28 all. So obviously pleasing to at least come away with 3 points, but disappointed really with how we finished off that game, particularly the last 20 minutes.
Really strong start to the second half. Kind of rebuilt that lead, if you like. Does that make it a little bit more frustrating that we just couldn't quite close it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have turning points in games, and I think we had a great first 20 minutes. Played a lot of rugby down in their half. Our attack was flowing. The ball carriers were coming onto the ball at real pace. We were denting the line. Our breakdown work was excellent. Everything we spoke about at half time we delivered in the first 20 minutes, and then I think we have an exit just inside the 22, and we've got 2 people stood 3 yards offside, and all of a sudden you've got a penalty, and then they're kicking it into the corner, and then they're suddenly 5 yards out, and it's just little things like that that they just invite pressure, they invite that momentum swing back against us, and I think that was probably the big learning that we've got to take from this game, which we've spoken about before, is we don't want to give these teams any easies into the game.
I know we had a few new arrivals in the summer, but would it be fair to say that it hasn't just quite clicked this season yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've probably shown it in patches.
Yeah.
You look at the first half against Jersey. Here was everything we wanted to do, and we spoke as a group after the game there, just saying that actually maybe we're just playing within ourselves a little bit at times, and we want to go out and show what we're about, and it looks maybe that the shackles are on a little bit, so to speak, and that's a mindset issue that's obviously got to be addressed. I don't think it's we've had that many new personnel in. I think that first game of the season, obviously against Pirates, I think hit the group a bit harder than maybe we expected. But at the end of the day, you got bounced back from that. That's one game. So I think we've shown it in patches.
Yeah.
I think the challenge for us is, can we deliver it for full 80 minutes? And you're always chasing the perfect game. I think as a coach, you're always chasing the perfect game. I remember reading an article recently on Lily Jones talking about that. You're never probably going to quite get it, but you're always chasing it. And I think for us, it's how we can manage the momentum swings in the game. Second half against Jersey was very reminiscent of this half for me, how suddenly you invite a little bit of pressure back on yourselves through a couple of easy outs, a dull offside, or and not rolling away in the tackle, and then everything comes back onto you, and it's then how can you regain it as a group. So I think that's something we've obviously got to go away and look at collectively, both as a coaching group and as a playing group. 2
really big weeks now, aren't they? Tough trips away from home to Yorkshire and Doncaster as well. Real chance for us to build some momentum in the next couple of weeks, aren't there? Yeah, massively. I mean, Yorkshire scoring points, it's going to be a tough challenge. They like to play a little bit of rugby. They scored 4 tries against this team that we've just played today, 2 weeks ago. So it's certainly not going to be easy up there, but I mean, we've got a long turnaround this week, so we've got 8 days, which gives the boys an extra day off to rest up and hopefully do a little bit more reflection on individually what maybe we could have done better, and then obviously collectively, and come back and regroup for next week. It's a huge challenge going away from home with a long trip as well, but I think the boys respond. They're dejected in there, and I'd be surprised if they were happy. But we got to get back on the saddle, and if this is a confidence issue, then we've obviously got to address that pretty quickly and get our mojo back and get us clicking. Yeah, let's just end on a positive. When we are playing on the front foot, it is really kind of starting to click, isn't it? And it just kind of leaves you waiting for that big performance that when you think it is going to click, it's really going to go, if you like. Yeah, massive. It's almost on the tipping point, so to speak. I mean, that second half had some great build-up play. Some really good aggressive carries, and then we're striking to an edge, and then we're getting into our shape, and it's flowing. Our speed of ball's good, and we look great, but it's consistently doing that for 80 minutes for us at the minute, which I think for us is obviously something we've got to address from a mindset perspective, more so than their playing ability, because we know these players have got ability. I know us as a coaching group know this group can do special things, but we kind of just needed to happen and get the ball rolling and keep it rolling, so to speak.